Well folks, it's been a jam-packed week of content, and this past Thursday we saw the premieres of both The Golden Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. So you know what that means. Time to get to sleuthing and see what we can find out. And here, I have a theory on who might be getting Gerry's golden final rose. So let's take a look at both of these previews, and first and foremost, I want to say there's a lot of copyrighted music, especially in the Golden Bachelor preview, so I might have to navigate through it a little bit differently than I normally do. And I'll also be dividing this video into two parts, one for each preview. But otherwise, there's really only one rule here. Please, no posting any spoilers unless you can back it up with sleuthing, and a link to the full preview is in the description. So I'm actually going to jump right in with a commentary right away because this whole section is painted with some very famous music, which is great for the preview, but YouTube will throw a fit if I try to use it, even if it's in the background. But I'll give you a little hint as to what the song is.
Don't stop believing.
Also, I can play some of it, and there's a link to the preview, so it's not exactly a secret, but here we go.
Stop looking for the woman that you can live with, and start looking for the woman that you just can't live without.
So in this first section, we mainly see 5 women highlighted. First is motorcycle guitar lady Faith, who got the first impression rose, then Susan, Sandra and Teresa on what I guess is a group date, and finally, Prince's ex-girlfriend Leslie. And these 5 women are really the central focus of this whole preview. So that's telling me a lot. I mean, with this show only being an hour long, the editing is going to be even more key in the telling of this story. As a result, there's only going to be room to give screen time to those who are extremely important to each episode, either because of some event that happens, which in the regular show could be drama or an elimination, or because they're going to be making it far. So these women are already on my radar. Plus, with Faith getting that first impression rose and Teresa having such a heavy highlight night 1, I think this theory lines up. But let's continue and see.
I'm falling in love with you, Gerry.
The last time that someone said those things to me was my wife of 43 years.
Alright, pausing here because of the music, but the shot is going to move forward a bit into this, the final filming location of the season in Costa Rica. Now, how do I know this? Well, I wish I could tell you it was some sly sleuthing and geolocating, but all I did was look on the Golden Bachelor Wikipedia page. So I'll be keeping an especially close eye on potential travel shots like this one, with Gerry and who I believe is Faith. Check out the hair and nail polish, and match it with this shot from the first episode, and also with what Faith is wearing in this shot. Though here it's also possibly in California, but the evidence is already pointing to Faith going far. Now, we also don't know what the format for the season is going to look like exactly. Like, Ellen here says that she's falling in love with Gerry, and that seems to be still at the Bachelor Mansion, but who knows how long they stay there. This could be week 2, or it could be right near the end. But alright, here comes the drama section of the preview.
You made it sound like you chose me.
This just isn't worth holding.
I can't keep going like this.
I just don't have the connection that I did. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, how is this happening?
Okay, so even though this is a much more heartwarming and gentle version of the show, that doesn't mean there won't be a lot of emotion and drama, and of course, editor fake-outs. This section in particular is riddled with it, like with these 2 women who appear to be getting broken up with. The first, I believe, is Ellen, and then Teresa. However, almost all the audio for this is dubbed over the footage, so we can't take it at face value. Yes, Teresa is upset, and it seems to be at a rose ceremony where Kathy has gotten a rose, likely from a previous date, but there's nothing to actually connect Gerry saying, "I just don't have a connection," to this moment. There could be a lot of explanations, and frankly, I actually think Teresa is this woman in Costa Rica. It's hard to see, but I feel like the hairstyle matches. Also, Gerry getting emotional is something I think we'll be seeing all season. I mean, he was in tears at the end of the first rose ceremony because he had to send women home. So him crying is something I think we could see at any point. Though there does seem to be some extra emotion in this next part.
Oh boy, it's gonna hit the fan now.
The only time I've ever felt worse in my whole life is when my wife passed away. And this is a close second. I'm done.
Oof, that's a heavy comment from Gerry. Looks to also be in Costa Rica, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is him breaking up with his final 3 pick. But yeah, this season is absolutely gonna tug on our heartstrings. Just see what I mean in this section ahead.
We are real people. This is the month that my husband died. That have had really hard things happen in our lives.
We both have hope.
You don't stop believing.
Okay, I'm gonna be a mess after all of this. Now at this point, Don't Stop Believin' kicks into high gear, and it's a really sweet part of the preview that you should check out in full. But to avoid a thwomping from YouTube, I'll just point out the highlights of Gerry and Ellen on an air balloon one-on-one, Sandra getting a kiss, Leslie and Gerry on a date, and maybe this is Faith? Then we have Gerry on a date with someone in Costa Rica that I believe matches up with Leslie. The build and hair, to me, makes sense. But okay, let's see if we can finish off this preview without YouTube yelling at me.
I do love you, Gerry.
And what more of a fairy tale could a guy live through?
Here's to a long life together.
So there you have it, the first ever Golden Bachelor season preview, and I for one am hyped. And could this be a look at our final couple walking off into the sunset together? If so, I kind of think that this is the woman who's going to be my final pick for the season, Teresa, with my top 4 also including Ellen, Faith, and Leslie. Teresa had a huge night 1 and was majorly highlighted despite not getting the first impression rose. And I think she could be here in Costa Rica with evidence to suggest that Faith and Leslie might also be there too. Ellen is featured a ton in this preview as well, but if Costa Rica aligns with the traditional final 3 for the final filming location, there's just no room for her beyond the final 4. However, this is all speculation based on what we can see from this preview, so we'll have to wait and see how it actually plays out, which I for one am super excited about, so let me know your thoughts and theories down below. But for now, let's move on to Bachelor in Paradise. A sharp shift in tone, I know, but we'll swiftly sort through it as a lot of this preview is a repeat of the first look preview I did a few weeks ago. Not this first bit though, as it's going to cover the fallout from Avon's arrival.
Hello.
Avon is mine.
I'm so glad to finally meet you.
Olivia, do you want to talk?
I'm very excited to see you.
So Avon has arrived, and you know Kylie's going to drop Will in no time flat. But the setup here is that Olivia will swoop in and grab Avon, getting her revenge. That, however, won't be the case. Like, the preview continues on like this.
You are someone that I want to see.
I just stole her man and now she's stealing my man. I am not gonna be chasing after no man here.
Karma, you sweet, sweet lady.
But if we go back to the first look preview, we see a ton of Avon and Kylie, like them on this date, and then them still together whenever they filmed the wedding that they've been teasing. For the rest of this preview, however, they leave them out to try and not spoil next week. But yeah, Avon and Kylie will be an item, and Olivia's going to have to look elsewhere for her rose. Which she will get, though maybe not from Will. She's been seen with a few other men later on in the preview, so let's keep this thing going. And again, I'll be skipping over any footage that's repeated from the first look preview, so you can always go and check out that video if you missed it.
It's the most shocking,
Oh my God.
wettest, wildest summer in paradise ever.
Well, the party's on, and this is going to be my face the whole time. Gotta say, I'm really sad that Kat is not in a ton of footage and thus is probably going home soon, cause her expressions are giving me life. We also see Kat with a K with John Henry from Charity Season, and they seem to be a more solid coupling based on the previews than her with Brayden. Also, this is Michael from Charity Season. I'm mainly pointing him out as he's someone who's seen with Olivia later on. I'm not sure when he arrives, but either way, Olivia will be lasting long enough to at least meet him. But let's keep going.
Katie, I am no longer the worst bachelorette that's hit the beach.
The last thing I wanted was for Katie to show up. I have not spoke to her for 2 years.
Alright, now if you're following along with the unedited preview, you'll know I skipped some parts right here, like the arrival of Jordan V, Rachel's first one-on-one elimination from her season, and also shots of Bachelorette's Katie, Charity, and Hannah Brown. But as I said in the first look preview, they won't be here to date. More likely, they'll just be hosting a date or giving advice, with Katie seemingly hosting some sort of comedy date, which makes sense considering she's been doing comedy herself. And of course, there's also going to be some sort of relationship post-mortem with her and Blake. But alright, I'm now gonna fast forward again as the next bit goes over Hannah Brown's arrival as well as Poopgate, all of which I've talked about before.
Just remember, it's not your poop baby, it's our poop baby.
Who will find their soulmate?
I would love to make the rest of my paradise our paradise.
Alright, pausing here as we've got a lot of that Olivia footage I was talking about earlier. Maybe Peter is where she gets her rose next week, but she'll also be getting a date with Michael when he arrives. Otherwise, we see a date with Genevieve from Zach's season and Blake, here's Tanner from Charity season with someone, Kat and John Henry are at it again, and Mercedes is making out with Tyler from Rachel's season. So there's going to be a lot of ex-flames for Rachel arriving on the beach, with a major one highlighted next.
This is crazy. Getting a second chance. I think things happen for a reason. You're the best man that's ever came into my life.
Liza, really am falling in love with you.
So here we've got Aaron and Eliza who seem to be serious enough to be dropping the L word, and we'll see if anything serious actually comes out of this time with Rachel and Jordan. After all, she did dump him like immediately and on a one-on-one to boot, so there has to be something missing for her there, right? But let's fast forward through some crying shots, the main one being Eliza saying she doesn't feel like she can trust him. Could she be talking about Aaron here? And then continue through Wells introducing the Paradise Truth Box scene in the first look preview to finally get to this wedding tease once again.
And who will decide to get married in paradise?
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
Find out this season.
And there you have it. The preview ends on this wedding that happens sometime in the middle of the season. And look, a new contestant. Now, according to those in my live chat, this looks to be Sam from Bachelor in Paradise Canada. And I'm inclined to agree. She's paired up with Peter, and Olivia is also seen with Michael again. So this might add fuel to the idea that Peter and Olivia exchange roses until they both find new matches. But I guess we'll see. Otherwise, there's no typical engagement footage that we usually get in these previews. Maybe they clued in that most people were able to sleuth out who they were based on their hands and stuff, so this time they decided to leave it out. I'll keep my eyes peeled, but before we go, I just want to say, with all the extra content coming out, I may not do a preview video each week, only if there's a major discovery or for larger previews. I also hit 170k subscribers this past week, which is awesome, so I'm gonna do a major and also good life update sometime next week, and the info in there might take up some time in the months ahead, but don't worry, content won't be stopping, especially all the recaps, as there is a ton ahead, and I for one am buckled in to see it all go down. So that's it for this preview breakdown for both The Golden Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts and theories down below, and subscribe to the channel for tons more content on the way. And until next time, Bachelor Fantake out.
Oh boy, gonna hit the fan now.
The only time I've ever felt worse in my whole life is when my wife passed away. And this is a close second.